Yeah. Live, and we are live. Cool, cool, cool. Took a minute to get the live stream to work, but here we are. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining today. I do have a very, very special session today planned. And so I hope you've done the usual, getting your favorite pen and get some kind of notepad because I'm about to give you something you probably never heard before from me. So I even have my specs right here. So welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being awesome. Thanks for showing up again and again and again, because that's what it takes. If you want something really bad, you gotta at least show up for it. I did a quick short yesterday, and I think in the short I said, "You're not a dead tree. If you don't like it, move. You're not a dead tree. If you don't like it, change. Otherwise, people are just staying the way they are and they're not doing anything." So get ready because I'm just about to share with you some notes that I have never shared with anybody, even my amazing clients. So, and this is being streamed on YouTube, and hopefully it's going to be also hopefully it's going to be also saved. So, so welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to talk about two things today for about maybe 20 minutes or so, nice and tight. And then after that, the clients will do the classes on their own. We're continuing with the terror barrier lesson. But today, I'm going to share with you how you can use your will to drive the fear out so you can take action. And so once you study this with me to now, after, if you have time later today, study the fear lesson that we've been doing. So, all right. So, but who is this guy? What are we talking about? Well, I'm going to share with you some things. And uh, basically, it's all coming down from this concept. Like, I don't have many PowerPoints. I'm just going to be talking. But the idea is to share with you what I have and what I've been doing that is working. And if I'm doing it and it's working, it should work for you as well. All right. So this is the 6 a.m. club, one of the talks where I share with my clients many of the things that I study. This is the whole bonus part of it. They come to either being private 1 hour a week or they come to the group 1 hour a week. But I invite those who are really elites and want to become that to come with me in the morning. So this is one of those sessions where that is what you're seeing. That's why you are here, and that's what's being streamed. So what do you normally what's the idea about? Well, we are talking about this. So here it is. We're gonna keep pretty much this screen up for the most part. No, not that one. And apologies because Zoom is doing a lot of automation and it's pretty cool. So like I said today, it's a little bit advanced of a topic, but it's about the will and it's about driving the fear out so you can take action. Okay. So I do have a framework that I use, my high performance coaching, and this is what you're getting a piece of today. So, generically speaking, right? What's this will about? Like, where does the will come in and how do these thoughts become things? Well, the will is part of your higher mental faculties. And if you don't know what that is, that's okay. You have them already. You don't need to go to the grocery shop to buy it. You already have it. You just don't know how to use it. So the will is one of those things. So, I bet all of you have all are very busy. So you are listening. And if you're listening, I suggest you listen well and get a nice pen and write some of these things down. Because when you hear something, what you hear and what Rajitsi hear or what somebody else that's listening to the stream hears is different. Everybody's going to hear it differently. And it all has to do with your higher side of you. So all you have to do with what you're occupied with and what you're doing. And everybody's doing something. We're always busy nowadays. It seems like running around. Everybody's got something to do. So people ask me, come on, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on? How come you're doing so well and your clients are doing great? I'm like, why do you ask me what I'm doing? Everybody's doing something. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just thinking and I just study like a maniac, and I just love it. So I know what I'm thinking about more often than ever before. So when you hear something uh, and it resonates, write it down, and you might have to come back to it. Okay. Now, visualization without the power of the will, it doesn't do anything. A lot of people are learning to use their imagination and the visualization, but they don't go anywhere because they don't have the will. The will is what makes things happen. The will is like the magnifying glass that when you take it out and put it in the sun. When I was a kid, I used to do that, and I used to burn little leaves and poor animals as well, little ants. It focuses things, right? So that's what the will is. So visualization without the will, you're kidding yourself. You're just going all over the place. It's like you're looking at the sky, you see a lot of stars. You don't even know which star you're looking at. Now, if you develop your will sufficiently enough, you can start willing things into existence. You can start taking thoughts and moving that energy and bringing it to form. And that's what the will is all about. And that's what we're going to teach you how to do it. That's what you learn as you come along on this journey. But you have to be steady with it. You have to, it's not just thinking about it. You have to focus it. And you have to like laser focus it. So you got to develop it. It's just like anything. You don't go to the gym once and you develop muscles. You have to go again and again and again and again and again until it really happens. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. All right. So we're talking about thoughts and feelings and your emotions, thoughts and feelings and your emotion. And as you could see in this high performance coaching framework, we take you through that. And every one of you is somewhere starting something, in the middle of something, coming out of something. And I'll connect with what you need as how you need it. So I want you to start paying real attention now. Uh, like I said, I've never shared this even with myself. This is the first time I do this talk, but when I wrote this a couple of days ago. So the emotions are part of your mind. So whatever it is you're feeling is happening because of your mind, and the subconscious mind, as we've learned, is is your emotional mind. So instead of calling it subconscious mind, you can even call it your emotional mind, because it's your feeling mind. So if you're not feeling good, that means your subconscious mind is involved in some idea that is not serving you. So you have to learn to go back and stop it. It's your emotions that are driving you. It's my emotions that drove me today to write this, to actually do this today and live stream it. It was not my just think. No, it was my emotions. Your emotions, your feeling mind drives your body to do the things that you want to do. And that's what you got to be trained to do on, right? Your emotions. Now, you don't, let's say we're talking about fear this week, right? Will and the fear. You don't think afraid, right? You feel afraid. You don't think afraid, you feel afraid. And that's what I'm connecting you with. You don't feel confidence. You you don't think confidence. You feel confident. It's you know it is within you. So that's the energy that I'm talking about. So what I want you to write, if you haven't written anything down yet, write this: feeling is the secret. Feeling is the secret. In the auto suggestion chapter in Think and Grow Rich, my almost my favorite book, right? Think and Grow Rich. Auto suggestion chapter is phenomenal. I've been studying it for a while, and I've been reading it for the last 3 weeks, pretty much every day, every chapter, that chapter every day. Feeling is the secret. Now, every thought, every feeling, there is something. There's a message there. Do we need all of them? Probably not. But you have to start getting a grip on this mind control, on what's happening with your mind, because one day you feel good, one day you feel bad, one day you don't want to do anything, one day you want to do something. Who's in charge? And that's the thing. Where does your will come in? I don't know where this number came from, but I heard it somewhere that supposedly we get 76,000 thoughts a day. Now that's a lot of thoughts. I don't even know how they measured it, but that's the number supposedly. And so just accept it, right? Now, wouldn't you think you'd like to get control of these 76,000 thoughts? Or at least reject the one that you don't want? Because whatever you don't reject, you're accepting anyways. The thought, like if you don't say no, you're saying yes. So this is what I'm going to teach you how to do. And I think I said it earlier when I did this post yesterday. If you don't like your life, it's time to change. You're not a dead tree. If you don't like your thoughts, it's time to change. If you don't like your sales numbers, it's time to change. You have to change. Change is a mindset. Change is growth. You have to decide to grow. Otherwise, you're giving excuses. When we were meeting with Bob, and we're like, Bob, it's not working. They're not buying. He goes, really? Really? Why don't you think you're not good enough to sell them? Why don't you think you're not good enough to make it work? Why do you think that you don't know enough yet? You're not ready for it yet. Oh, Bob, you don't understand. And Bob goes, no, you don't understand. We got to go from ignorance to knowledge. We got to go from ignorance to knowledge. And that was the beauty about studying with Bob. And it's also complicated because he always saw the greater side of us. He always saw how well we can do, but yet we're like barely hanging on to the thing. And he's like, no, you can do it. And we're like, we're not doing it. No, you can do it. Because if you think you can't, you can't. And if you think you can, you can. So I remember one of the talks about this will with Bob. He goes, are you really who you pretend to be? It will be the second line that you might want to write down. Are you really who you pretend to be? Who are you? Are you really who you pretend to be? See, it's not an accident that you're here today. It's not an accident that you're listening to this stream from whatever part of the world you're on. It's because you're onto something, but you don't know how to go forward. Are you really who you pretend to be? It's not an accident that you're here. See, I'm focused. I'm disciplined. And Bob said, stay focused and stay disciplined and emotionalize the ideas that you want, and things are going to start happening. You might be thinking, oh, emotionalized, disciplined, thought this is bad. No, it's not bad, but it's more about, do you want to know the secret? Do you want to know how to double your income? Do you want to know how to feel good every day, not just one day or someday? I found the secret. And that's the thing. I found the secret. It's so cool. Now, Bob is not here anymore. So if you want to talk to him, go ahead. Good luck. But I've had the chance, and I'm grateful that I spent time with him to understand what I'm talking about. So the second thing that was in that conversation at the time with Bob was, okay, we all want more. We all want more. Okay. Are we giving more? And that's what Bob was saying. Are you giving enough? I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, I want. How do I give? He goes, come on. You have to give at the frequency that you want. You have to give at the frequency that you want. Now, you can't give what you don't have. So how do you start having so you can start giving? He said, you start with what you got. So, for example, you can double the tip. You can buy the guy behind you a cup of coffee, or the girl, whatever, right? You can start tipping a little bit more. You can start being encouraging. You start being nicer. You don't just talk about it, you start being it. So you have to give at the same frequency that you want to receive. So giving is the secret. The frequency that you want to receive at, that's where you want to be. That's how you want to give. So if you're tight on the money, if you don't let it go to and through you, guess what? It's not moving. It's like a river and it's blocked up. Give at the frequency that you want to receive. It's so freaking difficult and so hard to understand because we're so limited. But that's one of the big ones that he told us when we were talking about the will with him. You see, people are always waiting. They'll see a course that will change their life. They will see a book that will change their life. They will see a trainer that will change their fitness or physical health or well-being or the diet. And they say, I'll do that one day. And it never freaking happens. They're not willing to give at the frequency that they want. They see somebody that's sculpted, fully trained. She knows what she's doing. And you don't hire her or you don't hire him to help you. You're thinking, I'll do it next year. I'll do it next year. And guess what? You're not going to do it because you're not giving at the frequency that you want to receive. You want to receive the fitness. You want to receive the money. You want to receive the mentorship. But guess what? You have to give at the frequency that you want to receive, and you're not doing it. Now, you can't give what you don't have, but you got to start with what you have. If you have apples, give apples. If you have oranges, give oranges. If you have paper, give paper. You just give what you have. And then guess what? You start asking for more, and more will come. That's the secret. Stop waiting for something to happen. Start making things happen, right? So the subconscious mind must obey. So we're going to use the will. We're going to use the higher mental fact. The will is only one of them to help us really inject this idea that we want into the subconscious. It must obey. It has to obey. It's your emotional mind. It has no choice. That's how we were programmed. We're programmed from when we were little kids. We are programmed genetically from our parents. I don't know how many generations, maybe 5. I heard 5. Most of the times, how far it goes. Could be more, but that's what I've heard. Somebody could say, "Oh, I've gone back 7 generations. I've met my 7 grandpas in my dream." Okay, good. Well, good for you. It's possible, right? But so I don't defend it. I don't say yay or nay. Who knows, right? It's what it is. It's what you want to accept. Accept the ideas that are going to serve you to reach your goal. And don't be closed. Don't be closed mind. Be an open mind. If you're going to stay a closed mind, you're not going to get any new ideas. And you're just going to stay where you are because your closed mind only got you where you are. And now you're asking to go more. So if you want this more, you have to have an open mind. That's another important point. If you want to truly win, if you want to truly start winning, you need to develop this focus. You need to develop this will ability to harness this power. See, focus is a child of the will. So we got the will, but focus is the child. And focus is like when you, let's take the example I gave you. I went outside with the magnifying glass and I just, you focus the sun and then you get a little bead and then you can burn the leaves or you can burn the little insects that are bothering you. And yeah, it's probably, you might think it's bad to kill insects, but if they're biting you, what are you going to do? And you're a kid anyways. And we've all done that when we were kids in the forest. So as I was doing that when I was a kid, and now I'm relating it with what Bob was teaching, like, oh, now I understand. I got to learn to focus. Focus is a child of the will. So take this energy out of the sun and focus it. Now you can take energy out of the universe and focus it. Because if these thoughts are moving around, how can I focus it so that I can expand my abundance? So I can expand my awareness. So then expand what I have. How do I do it? I have to focus. How do you focus? You learn how to focus. If you can focus on one thing, you can focus on anything. We have many exercises to teach you how to focus for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, maybe a minute, and you start developing. We've done them in some of these training sessions. So either go back on YouTube and look them up or reach out and I'll share with you how. Everything is here. I'm sharing with you everything. I don't have anything else. Sharing your thinking results. I'm sharing you what I have in here. So I'm not keeping anything. And that's what it is. Give at the frequency that you want to receive. So you might be wondering, well, how come all these guys give everything? And can't you just go on and take it and do it? I said, go ahead. Go ahead and try. See, I've tried it for 25 years. It doesn't work by yourself. But you're just not good enough yet. You're not disciplined enough. You don't have persistence enough. You don't even know how to make decisions. So that's why you need to be in a space where there's systematic study, elite leadership, and accountability to help you grow. And that's what this is all about. That's why this framework is built like this. It's not by accident. Where is it? This is not by accident that it is like this. It's on purpose. It's to help you shift and help you change. Now, we're the only ones that are struggling. We're the only ones that are struggling. Animals are not struggling. Birds are not struggling. Do you ever talk to a bird and the bird tells you, oh, I'm feeling really bad today. There's no food. No, they're not struggling. They're freaking running around having fun. Look at the barflies. They're having fun. Insects, they're having fun. We're the only ones that are struggling. How come? Is it because God is not fair to us? Where does this higher mental faculties that he gave us, we're different than the animals and all these insects, where does it come in? We're the only ones that are struggling. Go outside and look. Birds, trees, bugs, insects, they're not struggling. Fish is not struggling. Maybe they were eating by somebody else, but they're not struggling until that moment. Why? Why do they not struggle and why do we struggle? Well, the answer is the will. We struggle because we break the law. We break the law of how the universe works and how we learn and grow to create this income. And for us to grow and create this income, create this abundance, we have to work within the laws. But we break the law all the time. We think a lot of negative things instead of good things. We think a lot of not having instead of having. We think that little story. Now, you might be even writing your goal down every day. You might be even studying, but that's all intellectual. Until you subject it to the emotional mind, until it becomes your behavior. Yesterday, somebody called me and my family goes, Kamal, you're saying these things, but you're not behaving like that. I'm like, oh, shit, yeah, I got to show. So people start noticing. That's good. That means they're waking up. That means I'm waking up, and now I just got to correct. So we struggle because we break the law. We struggle because we have this ability and we have this fear inside of us. We're so freaking afraid. In chapter 7 in my book, or chapter 7 in my book, there's a chapter that says, "Why are you so scared?" I talk more about that there. See, as you learn to focus, you start expanding. As you learn to focus, you start expanding. And you have to break free. You have to start being. You have to start acting from a different space than what you are now. No, but you're not going to do that. You're only going to do that if you have something bigger to work for, something bigger that you're envisioning to have. So if you just want to increase your income by, $5, it's not going to work. It's not motivating enough. It's not pulling you enough. It's a very tiny little magnet. We need a big magnet. And that's why in the early stages of the framework, we get you to set a big goal, something exciting, something really remarkable, something phenomenal, a worthy goal, we call it. You got to have something big, bigger than you. I'm talking like twice your income, 3 times your income, 10 times your income, a 5-bedroom house instead of one. I don't know what it is you're endeavoring. I don't know if it's a relationship you want. And you have to discover this thing, right? Something much bigger. You might not even want to tell anyone what it is that you want. Because the moment you tell somebody what you want, it could become a freaking problem. They can either shut you down, they can either talk you out of it, they can either, if they're negative, if they've never done it, they're going to say, "Who the hell do you think you are?" It's who you think you're not. See, because the moment you want a worthy goal, you're moving towards it. You're focusing. Your will is starting to sharpen. But then you go tell somebody else that has no idea what they're talking about, and they drag you out of it. They change your mind on it. So when you share it with somebody, be very careful, because you're most likely going to suppress it unless you're in a community like this, unless you're into a group session where people are learning to grow and double their income and grow their fortunes and build better relationships. You see, there are 2 ways you can go about this. Either you're going to conform to a mediocre life and a below average standard. Either you're going to conform to where you are and what others are doing, or you're going to have others conform to what you want. And that's the power of focus. That's the power of the will. So you have to start wanting. So right away, in lesson 1, which is readily available to all of you, everybody that's listening, you can have lesson 1. I won't even charge you a penny for it. But you're not going to even understand it until I teach you, until you come to the zone. Zone 1, zone of your genius. I'm going to have you open that door. So either you're going to conform to a mediocre lifestyle where others are at and they are going to drag you, or you're going to have others conform to you. What are you going to choose? It's up to you. Learning about the will and the focus is incredible. And that's going to give you the initial part of the control, the initial part of how you can start being who you want to be. Now, I don't get a lot into the thought control at the beginning, modules, but because on these morning sessions, this is what I study. This is what I study, so I get to share with you. And like I said to all of you, this is where, this is the framework. This is the way it works. Right away, I think in chapter lesson 5, you learn all about imagination, will, focus, reason, perception, but you're not going to get it at one time. So I suggest you all go back and re-listen to what I just shared. And information like this is only going to change you if you allow it to. Allow yourself to open. So I'm going to leave today. Today, as I said, it's going to be a little shorter. So there's one quote that comes to mind, and it's actually here on the paper too, from James Allen, and on how to control your thought, how to control these 76,000 thoughts that are moving around. And he goes, keep your hands firmly upon the helm of thought. Keep your hands firmly upon the helm of thought. You can even touch the thought, like it's touch moving around, but how do you keep your hand on it? You gotta focus. You gotta learn to accept and reject certain ideas. So that's the part about the focus. There is a part 2 to this conversation, and we'll probably do it tomorrow or next week. Today's Thursday. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you're gonna come back for more. And if you want to amplify your morning, if you really want to figure out a different way of living, if you want to start seeing some things that you've never seen before, if you're frustrated and fed up, guess what? There is a better way. There's a better way. It's a choice. It's a choice that we're making. Either you're going to conform to a mediocre feeling and being, or you're going to get others to conform to you and start becoming the man or the woman who you want to be. And that's my point. Learn to focus. There is so much to the world. There is so much to grow. I mean, that voice, I still remember from Bob, are you really who you pretend to be? So hopefully that's helped you today on the wheel. It's on YouTube here. It's also going to be recorded for all my amazing, wonderful clients. So come back again, bring a friend, and we'll have a lot more fun. So with that, I'm going to end the live stream, and then I'll just take a couple of questions from my amazing clients. So let me just end the stream. Thanks.